And you spoke about being burned out earlier also. How do you manage pressure, right? How do you manage surprises? As an entrepreneur, surprises can always happen, right? It could be COVID, AI, or it could be like losing a client. But how do you deal with that pressure and the stress that it creates so that you can take care of yourself, that you can take care of your teams and your clients as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I don't think I necessarily have a fixed way of doing it. And also to some context, the name of my company is Buro. And Buro is an acronym. And it stands for Better Understanding Results and Opportunities. But the more you know, the more you understand, the more doors opens to you. And I believe that I have this inherent, undying curiosity. How does the world work? How could something be done? That if I'm faced with a surprise, it would be, okay, how can I turn this into a positive and not a negative? I believe that nothing in the world means anything. It just exists. It just happens. And it's our choice to choose what lens do we want to perceive that through. Is it a negative lens of this, or could it be the positive lens where, okay, this sucks. Okay, I can acknowledge that, but what can this give me? Is this a gift in disguise? For example, one thing that happened was after the summer, we got quite a big surprise. The previous level in the company did not do what he was supposed to do. We got quite a big backlash, both financially, but also clientele. And I'm like, okay, what can this teach us? What can we learn from this so that we don't the same mistakes all over again? And I think that is at least how I try to perceive it. Because if I can perceive something with gratitude, even how harsh a situation it is, then it could be something that brings energy and not just something that is draining. But it is really difficult at times. But at least strive to try to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's easy to understand this as a concept, right? Nothing is for us or against us, but it's very difficult to put it into practice. So for you, how is it when something happens? Is it like within a few seconds? Are you able to snap out of it, or does it take a few days or a few weeks? Can you share a bit? And if that has changed over the years also?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the severity. It depends on my attitude that current day, the energy level. Like if I'm sick and something negative happens, it's of course going to be harder. But I think how I do it is, one, I'm lucky to have people around me that I can talk to about anything and everything. As I mentioned before, I also have my own podcast, and I talking with C-suite and founders all the time. You have the concept of being a CEO is lonely. The loneliness of a CEO. We're like, you can't share things to the board. There are certain things that you can't share with your employees. You have to have this position in the minds of the people above you or the board and the ones below you. Having someone to then share the emotional experiences, to just vent when you need it, get things out, I think that is super important. But I think also one thing that for me is I've learned over the years to not react. I've learned to stop. This isn't so urgent that I need to give a response or react. Because if you react, you're in emotions. But if you respond later on, you can have thought it through.